This is the part that got Abraham, peace upon him, in trouble. This is the part that got Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, in trouble. This is the part that got the Christians in trouble with the Roman Empire before it became officially Christian. Is this very bold statement. This king is not the God. These, even though very elaborate hierarchies of divinity, but in the end, actually, it's just a figment and projection of your own inner world. It's all fake. It's all not really God. It's a big statement. And this is why to say this, instead of saying, I testify that God is one, it's actually two different statements, even though they sound equivalent. So this is the negation part. A person is negating. So when we say that there is no God, this would mean idols of wood and stone, and then again some more made up words, desirism, or actually I think probably the official word would probably be closer to hedonism. So where a person is just saying, what's right for me is what do I want? And sometimes the commercials scare me because it's just like, we eat what we like, Oh, it tastes good, it feels good. And if that becomes the ultimate, I'm going to use George W. Bush, President George W. Bush, the ultimate decider for a person, then that's the idea of ilah. When we say the word ilah, it's not just, this is an abstract idea about a God. This is talking about the final decider. And so if it's my desire, then this may be a type of polytheism, but without having wood and stone, but having my own desire being the God, right? And so I think, again, this is a concept familiar to most of the monotheistic faith traditions. So this idea here about the self, there's a verse of the Quran. It says that, do you see the person who took as an ilah? So far we're looking at words here. So ilah is just the Arabic for any generic God, like ilah, right? It's different than Allah, which is al-ilah, means the God. So there's a verse of Quran that says, do you see the one who has taken his own whim and desire as his ilah, as his God, right? Meaning that this is going astray. In terms of love of this world, love of the material, which to some extent every human being, well, maybe I'm not going to say every human being, some people have overcome this, but we have a certain desire for wealth, for property, for having full refrigerators instead of empty refrigerators, whatever it may be. Some people say that's what makes the whole world go round. However, if this becomes the center of, again, our decision making and of our whole existence, and our principles are based upon the bottom line in a financial sense or material sense, then this is also, the person is saying, no, that's not God. Right? Saying, La ilaha, no, this is not it. Right? And this is where you get sacrifice of material as one of the ultimate expressions of faith. Right? In Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, you give sadaqah, you give charity, you give zakah, to show that at the end, it's not wealth or this world. This word here, dunya, is just the Arabic word for the life of this world. Of course, polytheism, atheism, monism. Monism is the fancy term for saying God is everything. So in Islam, we don't say that. We say God created everything. We say that you can see the signs of Allah in everything. We say that everything is testifying to His oneness. We say that you can feel a oneness with everything when you are testifying to His oneness. But we never say, oh, God is everything. Right? And when it's stated or mistranslated in certain of the Sufi traditions, it's actually a misunderstood thing. The Sufis don't have that belief either. Then opinionism, which the Prophet, peace upon him, has said one of the signs of the Day of Judgment. He said, when every person who has an opinion, he is so impressed with his opinion. And he said, then just wait, get ready, the Day of Judgment is coming. So that every single person, they're so enamored with their own opinion over everybody else's opinion. This becomes even important for people of the religion itself. so that if a scholar takes a dogmatic position on something that is not conclusively derived, then this is also a lesser form of taking his derived opinion as a God. And so when he's saying La ilaha, that's what the other scholars will tell him in an indirect way. They won't tell him directly like this, but they will say, well, you are a human being, you derived this conclusion, right? This doesn't mean that this is the ultimate thing, unless, of course, all of the scholars came to a consensus, in which there's no question. So opinionism is very dangerous as well. But we say no at the end. La ilaha. That's not the ultimate. Kings and government. This is where it gets really tricky, and where a lot of the persecution and repression happens now and in history. So especially if there's an authoritarian regime that is tyrannical, or something that is going against what is right, and then a Muslim stands up and says to the king or to the government, well, you are not the final authority. God is the final authority. So this is why, again, it's a very revolutionary statement. It's not intended to be an anarchical statement, because as Muslims, we are supposed to follow the law of the land. And as long as it doesn't conflict with something that we have to do, if it conflicts with something we have to do, then we will speak out against. For example, if Texas passes a law, which I don't expect them to do so anytime soon, but they say Muslims can't pray anywhere in the state of Texas, which would be kind of bizarre. But if they find out some way to put that into the law, then a Muslim has to decide, well, we're just going to all move to Arkansas. Okay? We're going to make hijrah. And then if Arkansas says, no, we're going to move to Oklahoma. And then, or being an American Muslim, we will go to our legislators and say, what are you talking about? Freedom of religion, right? And try to organize or whatever it is.